Anytime you're ready.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
20 minutes.
not ready yet?
You can go on board if you want. I got the tickets. We're set. How about that?
We are going to the boat. The tribes. Taking video. Let's go.
Good morning. 2 tickets.
Where is it going to?
What, baby?
Ah, we'll leave our bag here, or they were gonna inspect our bag.
Inspect your bag. They may ask for your bag. I think there's a movie someplace where they blew up a boat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Checking my bag. Wait. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
It's gonna be less windy out there.
Where?
How about over there? Living in this way. Trump Tower.
I just took the video and then it wasn't even turned on. Oh, we're going to a boat ride here in Chicago.
Have been inspected where we meet and exceed in all safety regulations, which include the amount of life rings and life jackets throughout the vessel. We do ask that you not open the compartments or tamper with the equipment as they are for emergency use. Lucia does have a total of 4 emergency exits, two on each deck, 1 on either side. In the unlikely event of an emergency, crew members will help and assist in the donning of PFTs or personal flotation devices. You are more than welcome to move about the boat. Just watch your step at all times and do use caution on the staircases. These are located toward the front of the boat as well as one located toward the back. Restrooms are located inside the cabin. Inside the cabin is also where you would find a full service bar, full, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. We do have some light snacks and souvenirs, all available by card payment only. Now, just a few general things to keep in mind before we do take off here. We ask of everyone to not stand on the chairs or benches. Once again, no standing on the benches or chairs. We don't want you to fall, and we certainly don't want to see anybody fall overboard. We We ask of everyone to refrain from all types of smoking, and if you have any trash or any garbage, anything you purchased from the bar, please make sure to find its way into our trash cans. Do not throw anything on the deck. Please do not throw anything overboard, as we do try our best to keep our boat and the river as clean as possible. Should you have any questions or need assistance, feel free to contact the crew member. We will do our best. Up here on the upper deck, we have Alyssa as our tour guide, so I will turn it over to her without further.
And that's why we're called the second city. Now, because we're second to New York, as they would have you believe, because we literally built the second city on the ashes and debris of the first city. A little bit more history to go across the bridge. That's the approximate location of Fort Dearborn. In 1803, the federal government built a fort. In 1812, it was destroyed in a fire during the War of 1812, exactly. Across the river at street level, we've got the London Guarantee and Accident Building, completed in 1923. The architect is Alfred Alschuler. We're going to go under a number of bridges. Chicago's got 38 vascular trunnion bridges. It's a bridge that opens in the center like a seesaw. 38 is the most of any city in the United States of America, and second in the world, only to Amsterdam. We only open them on Wednesdays and Saturdays in the spring and in the fall at scheduled times. You can notice the bridge houses. They're all a little different. They house the cogs and the things that make the bridges work, and they're all designed to complement the architecture that was in place when the bridges were built. Then we have Trump International Hotel and Tower, which is the second tallest building in Chicago, sixth tallest in the United States of America. It's 1,362 feet tall with the spire. The architects are Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. The lead architect is Adrian Smith. He is also the lead architect for the tallest building in the world. Does anybody know what that is? Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So this was in 1971. He is an internationally named architect who moved here from Germany. He's architect of the Illinois Institute of Technology. Brought with him what's known as the international style of architecture, which is defined by rejecting all non-essential ornamentation. Mises' philosophy was less is more. Because he moved here to teach architecture, we're going to see a very strong museum influence throughout Chicago. A lot of international style buildings. Ironically, Bertrand Goldberg, architect of the City Towers, we call them Porcupine buildings. Goldberg was a student of Andrew Rose. He rejected the international style. His philosophy was there are no right angles in nature, there should be right angles in architecture. A lot of people are very curious as to how these buildings are constructed. Think of the flower, the elevators and steps, and in Chicago is a pie-shaped cutout. They really are pie-shaped. The narrowest part is where you enter the unit, the widest part is coming along, and on the left-hand side we've got Kinsey Park, with the European-inspired row houses, top of George and Haynes for the architects. And each and every unit sold based on spec before they ever broke ground. It's a gated community. If you look at eye level, you can see there's a river walk. Sometimes people ask if they can walk in the river walk in Kinsey Park, because in Chicago, we have a huge commitment that everybody has access to the water. It's called free and clear for all. And I'll elaborate on that in a bit. The specific to Kinsey Park, the answer is yes. However, only during the day, you must check in with security in a gated community that's not called a river walk. It's not called a sidewalk. It's called a property. It was a printing facility, and you turned it into something else. In this case, soft blocks. You can always tell adaptive reuse by the balconies. When the balconies look like they're put on after the back, that's when you know you're looking at a building that had a prior life. Now, this whole neighborhood is called the River North. It's grown increasingly popular with parents of tiny people. I guess you call them young children. So they added Montgomery Ward Park. 4 acres of green space up ahead, and in addition to a playground, it also has a dog park. Coming to me now are 2 white Olympic residential high-rises that look like they're not quite finished. And they actually announced probably about a month ago that they're breaking at least 2 years old. But it's mixed use, so there's condos, a restaurant, other things. Now with that, I'm turning the boat around. We've reached the point on the North Branch. We've talked about everything we're going to talk about architecturally. That is by design. I am going to do the history portion of the tour. Now, this is also a good time if you want to go, and the equipment needed some repairs. Then, probably didn't count that everything in Chicago was hastily made out of wood. Buildings, bridges, streets, sidewalks, and highways. And the fire started in the industrial park, which means warehouses. And in the path of the Great Chicago Fire, there was a warehouse that housed coal, and another one that housed benches. It got out of control pretty quickly. It's hard to imagine, but Chicago looked like what you see when you see pictures of the West Coast wildfires. Luckily, it rained 2 days later, and that extinguished the fire. Now, we started to rebuild right away. We did have a healthy paranoia of burning to the ground, and to this day, Chicago's got some of the strictest fire codes in the United States of America. And within a month of the Great Chicago Fire, the co-owner and publisher of the Chicago Tribune ran for mayor and won on the platform of the Fireproof Party. And that is why we are called the Windy City. Not because we're the windiest city in America, which we are not, because our politicians are full of hot air. I find this to be very unfair. Chicago, in fact the whole of Illinois, is known for their honest, above-board politicians. The most honest, above-board politicians anyone could hope to vote for while they're under indictment. So, they highlighted the greatest innovations at the time. What were the greatest innovations in 1893? Well, the previous World Fair had been held in Paris. Does anybody know the centerpiece of the Paris Fair? Eiffel Tower. Burnham and the gang, they wanted to out Eiffel. So they found their very own structural engineering marvel called the Ferris wheel. That's right. The very first Ferris wheel in the world was right here in Chicago. It was over 200 feet tall, made partially out of wood. It had 60 gondolas. It held roughly 100 people each, and it took 40 minutes to get around. Other innovations include juicy fruit gum, Cracker Jack, the zipper, a little thing called electricity. I think that's good. And Paps. Well, they were an award-winning beer. If you've ever had PBR, you might be wondering how bad was all the other beer. This is the beer that won. It was a participation ribbon. All of the beers got a ribbon. So the fair lasted for 6 months. 27 million people came, and it turned a profit. 27 very tall, great. But they are committed to developing every last inch of the river in downtown Chicago, so they figured out a way to make it work. See these silver things? They're called I-beams. They're made with a steel from Luxembourg, and they're the strongest I-beams in the world. Same general idea as Marina City Towers, that it's a city within a city. It's got a 1 acre indoor climate controlled park. There's nothing that says kind in nature, like recycle land. Now, we're going to go on to the right side. We've got this Marshall sign, go a block west of that. There's a red and white radio antenna. So we're headed to Chinatown. And on the right side, that's a train yard. Left side, so we're headed south, heading north of the bridge. That's a development they announced in 2018. I'm beginning to think it's not going to happen because it's hitting each other. Second, they were two of the groups that have maintained the old world tradition of spending their one day off a week in either the pub or the beer garden. So, Levy Boone, it's also the Germans were the largest purveyor and consumer of beer at the time. So he did two things. He made it illegal for beer to be sold on Sundays, and he raised the price of the license to sell beer from $50 a year to $300 every 12 weeks. $300 in 1855 money is 10 figures today. So the Germans, they are on Park Street Bridge, and in this one time Chicago has what's called bridges that connect the road and the and it extends to swing up. They won't swing back and you just have a different river, 120 cars in the bridge, and that's the river. And then they are so the city is ready for the rioters. It's called for example, they had laws to be done. And they're like, hey, so when the president opened the lid, I was going to the riot, and see how the riot got involved, and 14 1 get it done. But, then they went to jump on the hill here on Sunday, and they reduced the plot of the legislature. So, there we go. Happy to be part of it. And then I'll let you know when it's here.
That building?
Which one?
Oh, Sears Tower.
What is that building?
Sears Tower.
Sears Tower?
Sears.
Sears. Sears like.
Sears Roebuck.
Yeah.
The company's main road.
Oh, okay.
We call it something else here. Everybody calls it Sears Tower. rare occasion when it's just right.
So today you're lucky.
What? Is the weather always this nice?
No, it's a great week.
Okay, well, it's just like it's abandoned. It's going to be worn out.
I don't know. I mean, it's in danger of being torn down,
Yeah.
but it's also one of the few remaining power plants left. And the environmental impacts of tearing it down like this. Yeah.
So the guy who brought electricity here was a guy named, I can't remember, but he was the guy on the Monopoly card, right? And he was Thomas Edison's assistant, personal business secretary. And Edison's...
Vedi cavolo, per esempio a casa tua se facevano un evasistas così veramente. Not necessarily. Put our numbers on for the next one.
Tiger, Cat Pepper Pot, and the Almond Song, my 15th favorite. It's built very well. And we got what looks like it's off the closed art what we call the old jewelry building. It's like a secondary stack floors at the top. On the very top is a dome. Not just that dome is called a Belvedere. And that was the home to the Stratosphere Lounge. A lot of people that believe it's up at home now. He was, however, already dead. We've got the art decorations called Spire on top, Jennifer by the apartment building, completed in 1968. The architects of the Byrne brothers being a Byrne son. And it is said to be inspired by the New Year's Eve celebrations when they opened a bottle of champagne. Oh, and they range from about 700,000 to 8 million. Pocket change, really. Then we have, back onto the right side of the boat, we've got this red brick building. South of that is a white building with black vertical windows, the Aeon Center, also known as the Standard Oil Building and the Amico Building. And it was originally clad in Italian Carrara marble, which is some of the most expensive marble in the world. It's what Michelangelo used. So we cut down on building costs. They trimmed it too thin, and it didn't hold up on the floor either. We've got this building with the blue-green glass and the white undulating balconies. Undulating is a $5 worth of curvy. This is Aqua, completed in 2009. It's an award-winning residential building. The architect is Studio Gang. Lead architect is Jimmy Gang. And until 2020, that was the tallest building in the world, with a female architect as the lead architect. You might be wondering who placed it, and we'll get there in a little bit. Right now, I got to tell you about this body of water run called the Chicago River. At its deepest point, it's 22 feet deep. It used to flow into Lake Michigan, which was and is our source of drinking water. In the 1800s, we created this river like a toilet. We used it to discard all of our industrial, animal, and human waste. You can Google pictures of chickens walking across the river. In 1885, we had a torrential rainstorm with very strong winds coming out of the west. The concern was that the wind was going to push the river water 2 miles off the shores of Lake Michigan into our drinking water. Then we would have a problem. Luckily, it didn't happen, but we knew we had to do something. So we formed the Metropolitan Water Rights. I'm going to tell you how we made our problem someone else's problem. We bring the South Branch of the Chicago River and the Des Plaines River over 4 inch. Under the canal, 35 feet deep, with gravity such water goes to the point. We named it the Sanitation and Ship of the Peak Canal. On January 2nd, 1900, we reversed the flow of the Chicago River. We opened the canal and reversed the flow. The canal flows down the South Branch, down the canal, down the Des Plaines River, down the Illinois River, down the Mississippi River, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. We can take this boat to New Orleans if you want. We're not going to. But I digress. We got sued. First, by St. Louis, because their source of drinking water wasn't in the Mississippi River, and they were concerned with drinking water. Unfortunately for them, the trial was held in Chicago, and they lost. Don't worry, they got even with us. They bottled up that gross, disgusting river water and sold it back to us in the form of Budweiser. Michigan, Indiana, and Wisconsin, they were concerned we were draining Lake Michigan. We lost that lawsuit. So the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District built the Chicago Harbor Line. So the law was built for one reason and one reason only, and that is to regulate the amount of water that comes into the Chicago River from Lake Michigan. Because of the law, Lake Michigan is now higher than the Chicago River. So every time the lot opens, about 800,000 gallons of Lake Michigan water comes into the Chicago River. So this is how it works. The river's like gate would open, the boat would go in. On the left-hand side of the boat, we've got this building with the curving black glass curtain wall. Lake Point Tower kind of thing. The architects are Chevrolet and Heinz. Now, there's a rumor that Oprah lived there. Oprah never, ever lived there. She might have started in Chicago. It was completed in 2020. The architect is Studio Day, the lead architect is Studio Day. It is a parking condo hotel retail and office space. The hotel opened a couple weeks ago, and the rooms are actually at $700, which is expensive even by Chicago standards. Now, it also could have been now, if you look up towards the top, this is that big fish. The living room top of the machine. That's like a low-key club. Allows for you to go through. Look at that. Without having to go to the great house. So that's what's up. Now we have something having a balcony with ground structure. Celebrates 100 years of the formation of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. It was $2 to stick it